welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another moving to Hawaii video. As always, I just want to say first off, if you have any questions at any point in this video or any questions on any of my previous videos, leave them in the comments below or leave them on my Facebook page or my Instagram, both of which I will link below for you. As always, the island I'm talking about would be Oahu. If you didn't see my last video on my tips on finding roommates in Hawaii, I'll link it down in the description for you below. So let's get started. First, I just want to mention how I found a roommate is it's kind of a long story, but I'll just give you the short version. I met someone on Tinder and I'm going to move in with him. He has a 3-bedroom house and we're just gonna talk about paying bills and splitting everything when I get there in 4 weeks. I know that's not really helpful. Hopefully the rest of the video is more helpful for you, but that's just how I came across someone. Met him on Tinder, met up with him in person, decided, yeah, sure, he said he decided you can move in with me, and so that's what I'm doing. The first thing I suggest you do is look at a map of the island, pull it up on Google Images, like figure out where all of the cities are, and figure out where you want to move on the island. Research the island. And if you don't want to do that, you can just go ahead and download the apps. The apps that I found were most helpful are free are apartments.com, Zillow, and the most helpful app for me was Trulia. So basically what these apps do is you download them, you go to it, you choose a location, you type in your budget, and then the app will give you a list of apartments and also a map where the apartments are on the island, which makes it so easy. So all you have to do is just basically sift through all of the apartments, and it will have thumbnails and pictures. That way you can see the apartment and like where it's located, and then you can I would look it up on Google and look at the street view of it to see where it is and where it's located and the neighborhood of it, because if you're a single woman or even a single man living alone, you don't want to live somewhere that's not going to be safe for you. You can also contact the realtor/apartment manager through these apps. You just click on the tab that says, hey, contact the manager, and they will send you an email. The app will, or sometimes the manager's direct information will be on there, and you can contact them that way as well. Something that's really important to know, and something I didn't realize, is just how expensive it is to live there. People say all the time, Hawaii is so expensive, it's expensive to live there, and I didn't realize until I had actually decided to move there. Unless you are ready to be really stressed out, or unless you have a couple $1,000s saved up, I wouldn't make any commitments, because in my budget, the studio apartments that I could afford, which is my budget was about $850 a month, were very small studios. And when I mean small, I mean the size of a bedroom. They don't even have a kitchen in them. Most of them are shared bathrooms, so maybe starting out this would be good for you, but unless you have a few $1,000s saved up, you're probably not going to be able to afford something that's very luxurious. However, I do encourage you to look, because that gives you a goal, that gives you something to save towards, that gives you an idea of, the price range you're trying to determine, what you'll be able to afford. As far as the studio apartments, the cheapest one I could find was $750. It was not nice at all. It was basically like a closet and a room. There was no kitchen, there was a door, and they were all like this. And of course, the higher you go up in price, the nicer they were. And the ones that were about $1,000 I found had a kitchenette in them, and sometimes a microwave. And I'm sure if you were willing, you could just buy like a table and you could get a conventional oven and a microwave, and you could make things work that way. Most apartment managers and most properties require a deposit, which is usually 1 month's rent, and at least 1 month's rent. So you're looking at about at least $1,400 going into somewhere to get. So I thought I would just mention that. So also keep that in mind when you're looking for a place. You might ask the realtor or the manager, hey, what's your deposit price? Something else that you might try would be Craigslist. And I say use at your own risk. So I did use Craigslist, but it was a little harder for me to find places on that because I had a dog. So it might be easier for you. Apparently that's what people on the island who currently live there use. The apps I think would be easier for us to use who are not on the island. So yeah, Craigslist, use your own risk. One thing I suggest that you do, and what I was going to do before I found my roommate, was try and pay as much off on the apartment as you can before you actually get there. Before I was going to get there, I was going to pay the deposit fee and 1 month's rent. That way I know I would have somewhere to stay as soon as I got there. Try to pay as much on rent in advance as you can. So if you can come up with $5,000, put that all in rent. That way you know you have a roof over your head for at least 4 months. That way in case you don't find a job or if something happens, you know, you have time to figure it out. So try to pay as far in advance on your rent as you can, because that's better than getting kicked out. It's better having to eat ramen noodles every day and having a roof over your head than getting kicked out and trying to find somewhere to stay. A question one of my subscribers had on my last video, and it was a really good point, was where I stayed upon arriving the island. Every time I've gone to go visit there, I actually have family there, so I have somewhere to stay for free. So I haven't had to pay for a hotel or anything like that ever. But my suggestions for you, definitely the number one suggestion would be Airbnb. That would be the cheapest route to go and the safest. If you don't know what Airbnb is, I'll link the website down below. That way you can check it out, see what it's all about. Another suggestion, as I mentioned in my last video, is Tinder. You could connect with people over there. You could try to find someone to stay with who would be willing to open their home up to you, and you could try to offer them rent or something if they have an extra bedroom that would be cheaper than a hotel. Also, there are a lot of hotels there. When I was looking at a hotel, I couldn't really find one that was cheaper than about $120 a night. So definitely try the Airbnb thing. Like I said before, any questions, leave them on my Facebook or my Instagram. That's a great way to get in touch with me, to contact me. My Facebook page is very recent, but I've made it because it's an easier way for me to get in touch than Instagram or YouTube. Alright, so I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will see you later. Bye!